Hey everyone, thanks for joining us this week. We are really excited because tonight's call is going to be a little bit different than usual. It's not really a training call per se, it's more of just like a work, like knit. Can I just see kind of a show of hands on who was able to watch that video by Christina Williams that we shared in the down thread? Or if you don't have your camera on, I'm going to kind of see who knows what I'm talking about and who doesn't. Okay, about half of us, it looks like. Okay, so basically that video we shared in the Diamond Bound thread, it was our Rubies and Above call that we had this past week on Thursdays. Once you're hit Ruby, you get to be in on that call. Really awesome. And we have special diamond trainers that come in and they lead it. Really great learning time. So this week we were inspired by Christina Williams and her sponsor, Brittany Howard, who are like collabing together to do this neat reach out. I know a lot of you have goals to hit Emerald by July. And while that might feel so far away, anything is possible in this business. And we've all been where you might be in your points right now and seen incredible growth happen in just a few short months. So this basically is a strategy to set you up for success to hit your goals by July or whatever goals you have, they might look different. Maybe you're not pushing for Emerald by July. Maybe you're pushing for Ruby. Maybe you're just pushing for no matter where you are, you strategy to your goals, whatever those may be. So basically what Christina shared was she's doing this reach out. It's a 50-person. This her focus for people who are really trying to go by the summer. 50-person reach out with the business completely in its focus. So at first you hear the word or the number 50 out, but really it's basically what we are already doing if you're doing your daily IPA 5 days a week. But instead of just reaching out, hey, have you tried Plexus? It's, hey, I have watched you. You're somebody that I want to work with in this business, and I know you could do this. What are your thoughts? Like being super bold and reaching out about the opportunity. And we've talked about it recently. Inflation's hit everybody. Right now, people may not be willing to invest in their health, even if they need it, which is sad. But some people might be more inclined to invest in a business that's going to bring them a side income because that is the current pain point. We know that everyone's budget has been hit. Groceries aren't any cheaper. Gas is going up again. And it's not going to probably get any better. It's just right now in our economy. So while yes, our products are fabulous and everyone truly needs them and they work, people may not have the budget or the bandwidth to invest in their health like they would invest in maybe an extra income stream. So that is what we're going to focus on. So what Christina basically shared was she intentionally worked through her network to find 50 people to start intentionally reaching out to. So tonight, what we're going to do is we're going to begin creating our list. We're almost to the end of February, so this is going to be kind of a prep work for March. If you're over there, you're sitting at gold or almost gold, and you're like, 50 is a lot, do 30 and have your goal be Ruby by July. That's a fabulous goal. And no goal is too small, you guys. And no goal is really too big if you want to dream it. So wherever you are and you feel like you have this goal in mind by this time frame, adapt your list according to that. So if it's 30 new people, great. If it's 50 people, then fabulous. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to create a list of people. And like Christina said, by the end of March, you're going to have reached out to each of these people. So if you look on their page, they haven't posted in a year, 6 months. They're just posting like reshares or whatever. They might not be somebody that you would want to do the business right now because they may not be at all active on social media. So they might not be who you're looking for. So what I've started doing is every time I click on somebody, I go to their profile. I'm checking it out. Do they already do Plexus? Number one, do not reach out to people who are already doing this. That's so just so rookie. Don't do that. Like make sure you know your person before you reach out. And number two, if they haven't posted since last fall or last summer, maybe they wouldn't be your top 50 person right now, but you can always reach out to them about the products privately as well. So those two things to remember. And then just start making your list of people. And if it's somebody where you look at their page and you're like, yeah, I would never reach out to them. I'm too scared to talk to them and I'm not willing to get over that fear. Don't put them on your list because if they're on your list, would be excited to work with somebody who they're posting with of friends that they hang out with, or maybe they have lots of sisters and they're all getting together doing fun things with their kids. Like those are the people that would be great at this. They have influence, they have the network there. Like look for a girl who just got married who had like 12 bridesmaids. Like, hey, that's her girl gang. They're all in her wedding. They're all her friends. Those are the people you're going to want to kind of target. And not exclusively, but those are some ideas for you to be looking for. Joe, do you have anything to add to that as far as like just to kind of look for people?
No, I loved all that. I mean, and she was saying like people that you would love to vacation with. So people that have what you're looking for, like what you would want in a friend or people that you hang out with. And what I've been doing is like I've just been going through, like I just went to my friends list and started going through and like looking at each person, going to their profile to like remind me who they were or how I met them or whatever, and creating my list that way.
Okay, so a couple ways that we can organize your list. So like Joe said, I last couple days ago, I went through my friends just like that. And you can go to your profile on Facebook and then you can click your friends list. And then you should have the option to click a word that says manage. And when you click manage, there should be three options. One's going to be people you've unfollowed, one's going to be people that you have zero mutual friends with, and the third one's going to be I forget what it is, but basically there's three categories. And if you're trying to like just really find the people you're after, maybe eliminate some people that are just, just Plexus people that have followed you back, maybe unfollow them so you really get a clean Facebook. But as you start to go through that list, write their name down, go to their profile. If they look like a potential, then add them to your favorites list, which you can totally do as well. I'm going to put some screenshots in Diamond Bound as we get working on our list so you can see what it means to find them, to categorize them, and then also how you can add them to a favorites. Because what happens is when you add them to your favorites, you can go to feeds, which this might be just Chinese to some people, but I will screenshot to show you what I mean. But you can go to your feed, and that feed can be just for your favorite people, the people that you have favorited, which means as you're going through that favorite list, you're going to see, if you go to that feed with the favorites, all the people that you're trying to prospect, anytime they post, it's going to come up in there. So you can easily connect, you can comment, you can like their posts, and it just helps you see them a little bit more, which in turn means they're going to see you a little bit more. And as you're engaging in them before you do the initial reach out to invite them to this business, definitely be engaging, definitely be liking their posts, building that relationship, because we're thinking in a few weeks out is when you're finally going to reach out specifically. But they have to be on your list and you need to be networking so that you can then do that reach out. So we're going to mute and we are going to start creating our list. You don't have to be right. It might take you some time. Pray over your list, look over the people. It's going to take some time to do 50 or 30 or whatever your goal is. But just start looking through your friends and seeing the people that you would want to do this business with. Like Joe said, vacation with, like, who do you want to hang with? You can create your own workers in this business. And you don't have to, the person who's always complaining about their life being hard, they need this opportunity, but you may not want to work with somebody who's a super negative person. Just throwing that out there. You don't have to choose every single person. So just see who would be fun, who would be like just somebody who would do this with you, and be picky and choosy since you actually can, and have fun with this. Make a list of people who scare you as well, because if they scare you, that means they probably would be amazing when they do say yes. So I'm going to mute. I'm going to put some screenshots in the Diamond Bound chat to kind of explain some of the things I just mentioned. And if you have any questions, feel free to unmute and we will move on to another task here in a little while.
Can I give a tip? Because I did mine today. And you might have said this, I'm sorry, I got a phone call, so I missed like a couple of things that Katie said. But what I did was I started from oldest friends. Did she say this, Joe? Okay, so I found it really helpful because sometimes when you just scroll through your friends and you get lost on it. But if you filter your friends, like if you go on your Facebook and you look at your friends, either sort like from oldest to newest or newest to oldest. And then I went down the list that way. That way I could keep track of it. And then if I got off the page, because I would click on their name and look at their profile and then come back, then I knew where I was. And so you're not like always all over. So that might be a tip that's helpful, is either start from newest to oldest or oldest to newest if you're going through Facebook.
I love that too, because if you've been friends for years, chances are they've seen some of your posts. I mean, maybe not, because the algorithm's not for us always, but chances are they've been friends for a long time with you. And so maybe they've been watching even for years, and it just takes that one reach out to like start that conversation up versus somebody you maybe friended yesterday. Maybe don't add them yet because you don't even know them. But I love that, Ashley. I'm going to do that as well. Thank you for sharing that.
Such a smart tip. And then also, I don't remember if you said this either, Katie, but Christina said, like, don't put their name down if you are not willing to reach out to them about the business. So if there's someone you're like, there's no way, I'm just not going to do it. Don't put their name down. Like, be realistic of like who you're willing to reach out to specifically about the business. Like, there was one girl, like, she's a local dream teamer. Like, oh my soul, I love her so much. We're not even like super good friends. We just know each other, like meeting in the coffee shop randomly because we always like we go a lot. And then we connected on social media, and she like has this amazing social media, and like she scares me to death to not scares me to death. It scares me to death to reach out to her just because I think she's so amazing. So I almost didn't put her name down because I was like, but then I did. So now I have to. I'll let you know how it goes.
How do you do the oldest friends to the newest friends? How do you?
So if you click on your friends, like I did on my phone, so it might be slightly different on your computer, but I just went and clicked on my friends, and then there's a little button that says like see all. Well, you can click your friends, and then it says sort, and then you can click on sort. You can sort, it's like default newest friends first and then oldest friends first.
Okay,
But
thank
like
you.
when you're on your friends, that like little sort button.
Okay, I just put the screenshots on how to manage your list, and also to create a friends feed. So if you didn't know how to do those, there's some screen.
So on my phone, I don't see like the same things that Katie does with like managing your list. Like mine doesn't say manage. So I on my computer though, I can go to, this is just a tip for anyone who can't do it on their phone. I mean, I can do my favorites. I can do my favorites list, but you can only put 30 people on your favorites list. And so if you want to like create another list and you're on your laptop, you can go to your friends. You'll see where it says like custom lists, and then you can create a list, and then you can name it, and then you can add people to it. And so that's another way to do it on your computer if you're not able to add another list on your phone.
I never use my computer. I should, because I knew that you could do that, but I've never done that. That's actually super cool.
I don't usually use my computer either, but I'm on Zoom right now on it. So I'm like, might as well just do this while I'm on my computer.
So if you're somebody out there who mainly does Instagram, we've talked about this before, actually recently in my Instagram training that I did, but you can create your list kind of the same way. You find your people on there, go to their page, save one of their posts to an album, create a new album. So say like March. So Christina was calling hers her Amiga list, Amigo or whatever. So Amiga for girl, but whatever you want to do it. But you can say your like March faves, your 50 March people, March 50, whatever you want to do, and you can save all of the potentials into that album. And then you just go to your settings, go to saved, you'll see all your albums, and you go to that album and you could network on each one by clicking each picture, go to their wall, see their new posts, comment on their stories. It will take, it's a slightly different, more time, I guess, because you have to go back and forth. But the idea is the same, and the fact that you can still organize without having to just have a piece of paper. You can have like a group of them on your Instagram as well. So if you absolutely don't know what I was talking about, I can screenshot and send you some screenshots to show you how to do that. But for most of you, I think that you know how to create an album. But you just click save, and it'll say, if you don't have any albums, it'll say create an album. You can name it whatever you want. And then the next post you go to do, it'll say, do you want to save it to this album or create a new one or whatever. So it's pretty easy. So if you wanted to do 30 people on Facebook and 20 people on Instagram, whatever works for you, it's not one size fits all. Whatever you want to network, whatever social media, like just make it work for you. And some people have both people on both sides, so make sure you're not duplicating that way. But you can use either platform. Another thing you can do is go to your level ones. I like that, Joe. Go to your level ones, and anyone who's a product taker that's been using the products for a while and you've never talked to them about the business, or maybe you have and they just wasn't timing, go back and say, hey, I'm reaching out to people that I think would be great. You already love the products, or you wouldn't be ordering every month. Reach out to them and be really bold. You never know who might already be on your team. They don't have to be a new sign up. It could be someone who has ordered the products for a year. Put them on your list, reach out to them, and help them get started. I mean, they can start sharing anytime, especially if they have an active subscription. So don't forget about those people too. They count. They don't have to just be 50 new signups or anything.
Yeah, and I even put someone on my list who I've already talked to or reached out to before, and she said no. But like we talk a lot. Like I am always like looking at her stories and replying to them, and like we chat back and forth. And she said no a while ago. It was probably, I don't know, it was months ago. And so I'm putting her on my list because I just think she's super fun and I really want her to do the business.
Okay, so something Joanna and I are doing, and we're offering to our level ones, and this might be something that you would like to do for your level ones as well, is we're going to be doing weekly power hours. And when that comes on, we're just focusing on our 50-person reach out list. We're not going to be making posts, we're not going to be doing stories. It's just going to be going through our list one by one and making sure that we have at least touched base with somebody that week if we haven't done it yet that week. I would suggest having a list of your people and putting a star by their name or a date next to their name to make sure that you know when you've reached out. Because the whole point is we start firing up this list, and by the end of March, you should be signing, you should be getting yeses, and you should be having already made enough touches that they're engaging with you. And someone had asked, I think on the call with Christina, like, what do you do if you get to the end of the month and they're just not responding? You can move people over. You can move them over to your April list. That's totally fine. But the idea is to be so, what's the word? Consistent with your reach outs throughout the month that you know by the end of the month if it's a yes or a no. And if it's a no, put them on a list for maybe 5 months now. Maybe in July, follow back up with them. And if it's a yes, get to work getting them started, getting them joined, getting them sharing, that sort of thing. All that to say, we're doing a reach out. And so basically I'm going to be doing a Zoom with any of my level ones. And if you have a group of people under you who want to do this with you, definitely lead that for your own team. And if you are alone and don't have anyone doing this with you yet, and you don't have any business builders, or you don't really have anyone who says yes, because this challenge is not going to be for everyone. This is going to weed through people who are not ready to give this kind of push to their business, and that's okay. But if you have bigger goals and you want to see some things move in your business, this is your challenge, and you're going to definitely like stir the pot and see some results. So if that is what you're after and you're in this chat tonight and you're on the Zoom and you're ready to just blow your team up, this is going to help do that for you. And if you're not, no shame. If you're not, that's totally fine. But if you're there and you have no one under you who wants to do this with you, and you don't really have anyone that you're working with, feel free to reach out privately to Joe or me if you want to jump into our calls, and you can absolutely join our Zoom. We'll send you the link. We'll put you in our chat or whatever we're doing. We just want to empower you that if you have girls under you, lead them, do it, be their leader, do this with them, work so they see you working. But if you don't yet have anyone who really wants to do this challenge, that's okay. If you want to do this challenge, we want to make sure that you have the support you need to get through this, because it is a hard challenge. Like, it's a big commitment to do this. But it's also like, there's not anything that's hard that doesn't come out with a lot of work, but the results are so worth it in the end. So if you do want to do that, just let Joe or I know if you want to join in one of our chats. If not, we can kind of share what we're doing in ours so that you can then duplicate that down to your own people. We were thinking after our accountability call, we'd probably branch off and do our own Zooms then with our level ones. It's a good time. People are already getting on the call. If you're not in the accountability call, you are always join in on that. But it's at 5 o'clock our time, 8 o'clock Eastern. And so it'd be like 8:30 Eastern time. 8 to 9 would probably be a time that we'd be reaching out. It's not too late to message people where they're in bed already, most of them. But it would be a time that you knew each week that you could set aside, knock out your list of 50 people pretty quickly. Especially if you have them in a list of an album or in a feed where you can just boom, 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 comment on their things. So I just wanted to lay that out there. If you are interested in that extra support and you don't think you would be able to manage this list on your own, definitely reach out to one of us. If you think you've got this under control, then definitely reach out to your level ones and have them, just ask them if they'd like to join you, ask if they'd like to do this with you, and then you can help walk them through. It's so empowering to see that duplication happen. It grows your leadership. And it's just a really neat thing to do this with somebody else. So don't do it alone. Make sure you reach out to your people. But if no one's ready to do this with you, know that you do have people above you that want to be there to support you. So I think that's all we have for tonight. I know that you're not going to have your list finished if you haven't already started on this. If you still want to learn more about what Christina was talking about, we have the video that I talked about in the Diamond Bound chat. It is a little lengthy, but it's so good. You can fast forward up until the time that Christina starts talking, and then she jumps into it. And she also references a team call that they were supposed to do yesterday that was going to answer some nuts and bolts of maybe any questions you had that you were not sure about. So as soon as we see that link come out, we're going to share it in the Diamond Bound thread. I'm definitely going to watch it myself. It is just going to maybe answer any questions you might have. And if you don't know what's going on or you're still not sure, then reach out to Joe or I, and we will ask Christina as well if we are not sure. But for the most part, we have talked personally with Christina. We know kind of what she means. So if you have any questions or you're confused about something, let us know and we'll clear that up for you. Because we want you to feel empowered. We don't want you to look at this and be like, wow, I'm totally drowning, I'm done, and just give up. We want this to be something that catapults your business, empowers you as a leader, grows your team, and gives you just a lot of encouragement. And that's what this is for. So I have nothing else for tonight. This was just going to be kind of a working time. Joe, is there anything else other than announcing our winner for the week of the post of the week?
Yeah, I was just gonna say with my list, like Katie said, like it's not something like that needs to be overwhelming, because if you have your list ready, what my plan is to have my list all ready by the end of February, which I mean I'll probably have it done by in the next couple of days, but I don't want to like rush myself so that I feel like, oh my word, this is too much, and then I don't do it. So as long as I have my list done by February 28th, I'm good. That way I can go into March like super strong with a plan of like engaging with each person. And then anyone who I've already been doing that, because there's people on my list I've been friends with for a while. We've already been engaging on social media and stuff like that. I'm going to start reaching out to them first. And so if you break it down, that's only like what, 12-ish people a week. Depending on how you do it. Maybe you haven't interacted with any of your people and you need to be doing that all month long. And then the last week you'll reach out to all 50, and that's totally fine. But on the Zooms, like that's what we'll be doing. We'll just be like interacting with people. We'll be reaching out. And then also posting about the business is going to be so important during this time, because those posts is what is going to bring credibility to your messages. And so just remembering like that's a huge piece of this, is like being really consistent, sharing on social media about Plexus, obviously having a good balance of your life in Plexus, but share about the business. Okay. And you don't have to have huge paychecks to share about the business. There's all kinds of great post ideas in the team page. Or if you're like, I have no idea what post I could post, like ask your sponsor, they'll help you make a business post. And then the more you do it, the easier it gets. Go watch like other people in Plexus who are really good at posting to get inspiration. And then if you need ideas of who to follow, like again, like ask your sponsor, they'll give you some great people to follow. And that always helps me to like, oh man, I don't know what to post. And then if I'll like go watch a few posts, I'm like, okay. And then it kind of like helps your brain start working. I pray over my posts, like, Lord, help me, like, give me ideas of what to say. Anyway, just a few thoughts, but I'm really excited. It's going to be great. You guys are going to do awesome. Like, I feel really sick to my stomach thinking about doing this challenge. Honestly, like I kind of want to throw up, but that's a good thing, because that means awesome fruit is going to come from this over time. So if you're feeling really scared, you're not alone.
Hey, Katie.
Okay.
Christina she did post that on her YouTube. She posted the one from yesterday.
Awesome. Thank you for that update. And I'm going to go grab that link and drop it unless someone beats me to it. I don't know if she's on the call. Let me see if she is here. Tiffany, you are the winner this week for the post of the week. Woohoo! So we will be sending you a copy. So make sure you look for that. So excited. What was I going to say? Oh, really fast. What I do when I see somebody's post in Plexus that's like, that was such a good business post, I either screenshot it. If you have an iPhone, you can screenshot and then you can click and save. Like you can literally pull the captions off. If you don't realize that, you can do that. But what I'll do is just pull their caption off and put it in my notes. And it says, it's like business post to repost. And I just put a space between, and then I do another one. I put a space between, and I always have that. And then in my Instagram, well, how we talked about making albums, if I see, it doesn't matter if it's Plexus or another company, if I see a good business reach out, I save that reel to my album that says reels to repost, and I just remake them myself. It's just me taking their idea. And so like the other day, I was not very inspired, but I had a list of like random posts from people. And so I was able to just pull that out. And so it basically, whenever you see something good, don't reshare it right away. That kind of takes away from that person's, if they're friends with them. Just save it for later on a rainy day when you don't have a lot of creative juice flowing, and then pull those out and reshare them. So that's what I would encourage you to do, is just start seeing posts. If you see them that you love, or even go through somebody's feed and look through all their really great posts, screenshot them, save them for later, so that there's no excuses. And when you have content made or you have easy content to grab, posting's not a big deal at all. Like it's just so simple to plug it in there and throw a picture and you're done. Especially if you know it was a really good, thoughtful post. So don't let that be an excuse to not do it, and don't let it hold you back. Be watchful, and whenever you see something you love, save it so that you can use it later.
I love that. Yeah, and one thing really quick, what in your stories, like it's so easy to post things about the business in your stories, like throughout your day. For instance, like if I'm at the gas station and I'm getting gas, like that's a perfect quick stories. I'll like snap a picture and then I'll share like I used to only be able to put in $3 at a time and I just filled my tank. They, or something like that. And you don't even have to even always say like, you don't have to say Plexus at all. You can just say that and be like, love working from home or love the extra income. And then or if you're at the grocery store, like take a picture of the groceries in your car. If Plexus is something that has helped you be able to add more groceries or buy something organic or anything, like there's so many little things. Maybe you got an appetizer at your date night because you had the extra money and it wasn't like a huge strain. Like share that. Those little things are big things. And that is what catches people's attention.
It's the relatable thing, like saying, oh, I made $5,000. Well, no one's going to do that overnight and no one's really going to relate to that, but they can relate to the strain on the groceries, the strain in the gas tank, like Joe just said. So those are some of my favorites to read. They're small, they hit the target, and they like you at a glance, you get the message. And sometimes people just read.
Or like Ashley, your post was so good on how you were able to take your family out for a surprise like Valentine's meal. Like that is what grabs people's attention. Like that was really, really special.
Yep. Loved it. All right, ladies. Well, we will let you go for the night. But if you have any questions or have anything that you're struggling with for the list, don't just drop it in the Diamond Bond chat because maybe someone else has the same question. We're here for you. We are so excited about this. Don't let it overwhelm you. If you pace yourself, create 5 new people a day from now until the end of the month, you're basically there. As far as on your list, like that's not hard. And this is something that could change everything for you. And I hope it does. So we will talk to you later. And I hope you guys have a great week.